Welcome back to another Division 2 video, guys. And boy, have I got a treat for you today. Now, if you're a fan of the first one, if you sunk in hundreds of hours into it, then you know very well which weapon dominated the game, especially in the DZ. Yes, you guessed right. It was the house.
Nearby agent.
Some will argue that it was the lightweight M4 perhaps, and while the M4 was a very popular assault rifle, what put the house, in my opinion, in a higher tier was the fact that not only was it an exotic, which made it that much more special, but it had a unique and powerful talent for its time. You should all remember the talent card counter. One half of the magazine does 20% increased damage. The half that deals increased damage flips after 10 seconds, or when the magazine is empty. Now, in Division 2, the house did not make it to DC. Instead, we downsized and got the apartment. Hey, I guess times have been a little rough. Nonetheless, guys, the apartment still delivers, and it's collecting rent. Let's take a closer look at it. Alright guys, so here's the apartment. Currently we are at 120,000 total damage, 850 RPM, 50 round mag, plus 15% SMG damage, plus 12.5% critical hit chance, and plus 6% health damage. Now the talent still bears a little bit of similarity to the house. It comes with the perfect talent perfectly measured. The top half of the magazine has 20% rate of fire and minus 27% weapon damage. The bottom half of the magazine has minus 20% rate of fire and 33% total weapon damage. Now, if you're a little skeptical of the top half of the magazine losing 27% weapon damage, fear not. I'll explain in just a little bit that you're not really losing 27% weapon damage. So stick around to the end to find out why. Now, let's take a closer look at the firing. Alright guys, so let's take a look exactly how much damage we are dealing with the bottom half of the magazine. Remember, the bottom half gives us 33% weapon damage. But we're also including companion, which is an additional 15%, giving us a total of plus 48% weapon damage. So, we have 51 rounds. Let's go ahead and get rid of the top half. Okay, we're down to the bottom half of the magazine. Let's reset these numbers here. Let's proc companion. And let's get a crit. And there you have it, guys. 440,576, just under 500k. Now, let's take a look at the top half. Remember, the top half, we're losing minus 27% weapon damage, right? Well, not exactly. Remember, we're gaining 15% weapon damage from companion. So in reality, we're only losing 12% weapon damage. So let's go ahead and take a look what that looks like. Let's recharge, magazine. And here we go. Let's get a crit. There you go. So 302,377 is what the top half gives us, with companion losing 12% weapon damage. Now, for those who are wondering, let's get rid of companion. Put it on cooldown. Let's reset these numbers. Let's get a crit. $262,935. And that's pretty much the apartment, guys. Now, let's break down the build a little closer. So for our primary weapon, like I mentioned earlier, we are running the apartment. Our secondary weapon, we are running the MPX. It also comes with 120,000 total damage, 850 RPM, 50 round mag, plus 15% SMG damage, plus 18.5% critical hit chance, and plus 8.5% health damage. We rolled the talent Optimist. Weapon damage is increased by plus 3% for every 10% ammo missing from the magazine. Now, why double MPX? Well, quite simple. When you do run out of bullets, instead of reloading, you just quickly swap to your secondary and they won't even know what hit them. For our sidearm, we are running the Survivalist D50. Now, why are we running the Specialization Survivalist? I'll explain in just a little bit exactly why. Moving on to our mask, we are running the Coyote's Exotic Mask. It's just too much crit chance, too much crit damage to give up at that moment. You should all be familiar with the Talent Pack Instinct. Moving on to our holster, moving on to the chest piece. We are running a Sokolov piece because of the plus 10% SMG damage. We have red all across the board here, and we have the Talent Unbreakable. Remember, we are running low armor, so that extra bit of armor repair definitely comes in handy. For our holster, we are running one piece Grupo Sombra for that plus 15% critical hit damage. We have 13.2% weapon damage, 5.7 critical hit chance, and I rolled plus 12% critical hit damage on it. Moving on to our knee pads, we have the Fox's Prayer for that plus 8% damage to targets out of cover. We want all reds across the board as well. And our gloves. We cannot do without the contractor gloves for that 8% damage to armor. And you want that weapon damage and critical hit damage on it as well. And finally, we have one piece Seska on the backpack with the Talent Companion. And this is why, folks, we are running the Survivalist. Now, Companion, while you are within 5 meters of an ally or skill, total weapon damage is increased by 15%. So, the Survivalist gives us the Mander Seeker Mine, which pretty much, guys, follows you wherever you go while it's active. So, in other words, you constantly have Companion procced at all times. For our second skill, we are running Jammer Pulse. You see me use that a lot in the opening. It's just a very good skill right now. We have a lot of status effect skills out there running around in the DZ in conflict, so being able to EMP them is a very helpful tool. I would suggest highly to use it, to incorporate it more in your build, guys. Let's get into the stats, shall we? So, we are running 53% crit chance, 124% crit hit damage. We have 91.3% all weapon damage bonus and 40% submachine gun damage bonus. And that is pretty much the meat of the build, guys. It is a hard-hitting SMG build. I highly recommend you try it out and see how it performs. It's a lot of fun. And again, if you're new to the channel, be sure to hit that like button. Subscribe if you're new to stay up to date with content. And like always, guys, be safe out there, and I will catch you on the next one. Cheers.